I knew he was like, well, why is y'all telling me? Y'all sort that shit out. Y'all grown motherfuckers. Don't bring that bullshit to me. I don't want nothing to do with it. Long as y'all save the motherfucking planet ship, I don't do what you gotta do. And so Enlil came to complain that he wanted to remove the mitochondrial rights of rulership from Earth. And he wanted to install patriarchy. So one of Ainana's scouts came and told her what Enlil was lobbying Anu for. And she went up there and blew a gasket on his punk ass. So you think that because you got the Y chromosome, you better? Motherfucker, do this. Raise your motherfucking gown, pap your girls, and push me out of sun, nigga. And so he started laughing and said, you can't have one without a Y chromosome. And she said, I'll be back in 9 months.
Mm.
And when she presented her child, her son, before Anu and Enlil blew a gasket, that's what caused the war in heaven. Because now she got a son that got the Y chromosome white rulership, but he also has the mitochondrial inheritance of the earth. And that undermines his authority. Undermines his authority and his jurisdiction on earth. So he was immediately pissed. So his response was, I'm finna go tear this bitch up. I'm gonna make these motherfuckers do what I want them to do, and I guarantee you they're gonna have 10 times more gold. And Enki was like, you fucking with our 9 people, dog. We don't do that down here. Leave them sisters alone. So he brought a whole horde of his motherfucking soldiers down here. That's the Genesis 6 story. And when he seen that it was having the that it wasn't making them beholden to him, he really got pissed. That's when they came with the flood to destroy everybody. Right? So now he flooded this bitch out. Then from there, all war broke out. There's a big old empty space after the flood. The ship that they said was Noah's Ark, it wasn't a boat. It was a jumper ship. It was where they used to transport gold to Nibiru. It's called the Crystal City. And the Crystal City stayed on Nibiru until the end. Now it's coming back. But when it come back this time, it's gonna stay here. So that's how it happened.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much. Can I also ask you another question? If you don't mind, I'm gonna ask a few questions.
Go ahead.
And you can always cut me off and let me know whenever you're ready to go off or get somebody else on the line.
When Instagram is left on here.
How many minutes? I couldn't hear it because the thing messed up.
About 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes left for cutting you off. But go ahead with your question.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. One time, like it's been so many so many awkward moments and so many stuff been confirmation, and sometimes I get creeped out and stuff. But I've been learning, not to not have no fear or anything like that, because fear's what been stopping me for even dropping knowledge and stuff. Because I've been noticing how certain things and certain reactions been happening, and what town I'm in and certain stuff. And I noticed the energy around. And one time I had a dream, and it was during the time where I think you was talking about Larry Hoover and what Hood Hiller. And I had a dream about a book. It was like a little book, like a key. It was blue. Every time you flip it, it was either blue, but it had pictures. I had pictures of people. And I'm not sure if it was in jail or it was just like prison pictures, but it was every time I flip it, it'd be blue a picture or it'd be red a picture. And then I thought about the flips, which you was describing and what you were saying. So, and then I had another dream about me being in the mall, and it was a T-shirt with a big old Ankh on it. Like I was shopping and looked up, it was a big old shirt with an Ankh on it. And I had another dream about this lady. I'm not gonna name her name, but we was all in white and it was in a building, and then all of a sudden a red alarm came on, like it was a fire and everything was red. And we stopped what we was doing, and I got creeped out because I'm like, because me personally, I had even people come up to me like saying, Wicca, like I met some people who did Wicca, and they say, "Oh, you will come," and I never wasn't feeling it because I don't like doing certain stuff collectively and certain stuff.
You
But
just gotta be. You just gotta have your own circle.
yeah, and discernment. Because this other lady, she came up to me. She called herself a guru, and I went to go test her, to not even test her out, but just went to go because I believe I needed counseling. Like probably like I feel like I need a counselor, but I know I could talk to myself. I've been talking to myself and everything, and people have been thinking I was crazy because I talked to myself, but I feel like though that's necessary.
Self-talk is
And
one of the most powerful spiritual training exercises you can do.
yeah,
That's
I've
why
been
they,
doing that for
that's
long,
why
and
they
I've been
tell
called
you.
crazy or I'm weird.
Yeah, that's why they tell you if you talk to yourself, you're crazy to stop you from using self-talk.
Hmm. So she was trying to. She told me to give me her. I could give her a birth chart, and she'll learn. And she know my soul more than me. She said we was just talking and like whatever. She had her
That's a red flag
statues.
right there.
I knew I was a bugger because and then I'm like, because that tweaked me. I'm like, hold on, you know my soul better than me. And then I'm looking in her eyes. She winked while she said that. So I said, nah, because I didn't like what she said. So I'm like, that's like that was a red flag. Her wearing the mask. I don't mess with the mask or anything like that. Like But when she said that, I was just looking at her like, did you know? I don't know if she knew who was in front of her or she don't know who I know is in front of me. But when she said that, I didn't like it. And then next time I seen her, I was done. We was talking. I said, yeah, I'll let you know if I want to give you my birth chart or something like that. But I knew not to because I don't even want to look at I like surprises. And I feel like if I look at it, I don't need to look at it. Like I'm looking at my chart a little bit, but I'm not going that deep into it. But I didn't feel comfortable at all when she said that to me. Then last time, probably like 2 weeks later, she was before that. Excuse me if I'm jumping all over the place, but she was saying you can give donations. I accept donations and stuff like that. And that class, she offered it for me for free or whatever. And she had fruits and everything. I had tried. She had all her statues of the Buddha and every I don't know what other statues with the 8 arms. The all the Buddha statues and whatever
Mhm.
she was saying, the fruits, people eat fruits and give thanks. And she gave me the fruits. I eat none of the fruits. I just tossed it out. And I said thank you anyway. But and then I think her like 3 weeks later and I said hi to her. She was like, she was avoiding me. Like she didn't want nothing else to talk to me or anything. I said, cool. That was just a confirmation to let me know. Because if I didn't want your services, you should just accept it and be grateful. I even came and gave you a chance to even think about it, to even think about even having you assist me. So for her to give me that vibe and that energy, I said, yeah, I did the right thing. Because you didn't have to I like you ain't see me or avoid me or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I most likely did the right thing. And then you just said, yeah, definitely. So that was my question. That situation, with that being that what she said, she know my own soul. As if nobody could know your own soul better than you, right?
That's not possible. You gotta be damn near your deathbed dead for you not to know who you is. You know enough about yourself to know that didn't sound right. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beginning of self-knowledge. Just knowing somebody come tell you that they know your soul better than you do, they on some bullshit.
Yeah, so yeah, and I felt bad. I'm like, no, don't feel bad because I got a heart. I got a good heart, and I've been learning, like, to don't have my heart too open because not everybody, is for you.
Yeah,
Not,
that's a
yeah.
fact.
Mhm. And I've been seeing stuff in the clouds, shaped like clouds. I've been seeing lights and a whole bunch of stuff is disappearing and popping back up. So I just want to say thank you so much and thank you for your time. And you definitely been letting me know that I'm not crazy and the confirmation and
Yeah,
I've been on
you
the right
sure ain't
path.
crazy. Yeah, you sure not
Yeah.
crazy. Look, if anybody want to find out if somebody crazy for real, give them a math problem.
A
Serious.
math problem? What a math problem?
If you insane, you can't do basic math.
Mm,
It requires logic that you don't have access to. It don't even have to be a complex math
a
problem.
math problem.
So You know what I'm saying? They call you crazy. Say, I'm not crazy because I know 6 times 6 is 36. 2 times 8 is 16. You can't do math if you're truly insane.
Yeah, because I've been noticing everything is math or just about the numbers and stuff. Like my
Mm-hmm.
birthday is right after Christmas. I'm a twin. And I got another sister. She was born the same year. Everybody be thinking we triplets, but we not.
That's called Irish twins.
Yeah. 9 months apart. And I wanted to know how could I, if, for example, if nobody in my family don't want to, because I have three nephews. I don't have no kids. And my only one of my sisters have kids, and she had two. And my mother, she had another kid, Sophia, Muhammad, and Sebastian. So that's the three youngest, and we don't associate with our family at all because we had like problems and stuff. And I've been trying to like get to figure out. I just can't put nobody back together again, and I don't want to leave them alone because we only talk to my aunt and my grandmother from my father's side, and we only have my sisters from my mother's side. So it's been kind of hard for me to like. I've been trying to figure out what to do because I know I'm gonna leave and physically one day, and I want to leave them something. I want to leave them like at least people or family, you know. So I've been trying to collect books and stuff like that because I know my nephew, he's in tune. He looked up at the sky one day and said we're in a whole other galaxy. He told me he's seen his body outside of himself, like he sees his body while he was sleeping. So I know he's in tune, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to go about bringing like a family to them because even my own family was all females in the house, and it's like very aggressive sometimes, and like a lot of masculine energy, not too much feminine energy. And I've been wanting to know like how can I bring like
Peace, Chief. Brother, I appreciate you coming through, man. Man, I listened to one of your bills for the first time, and tonight I'm listening to you, and you saying some things that I could correlate with and relate to because I've heard them from other people or I've either researched them. But there are some spiritual things that you said that I know. I said there's no way that he got that from a man. That's something that he's gotten from a download. And one of the things that stuck to me was when I heard you say Conjure Wars, and you went into it, but you only dropped about 2 or 3 clicks on it. So my question for you tonight is, if you could explain to the audience to help the American Indian community understand what exactly the Conjure Wars are and how they are fought. Is it a physical war? Is it a spiritual war? Is it a war that's spiritual in its word, or is it a combination of both? Um, and if you know who some of the players are in that war, um, physically, can you drop the family some on that? Appreciate you,
Okay,
brother.
so yeah, that's a good, excellent question. The Conjure Wars is fought between practitioners of varying different styles of voodoo and sorcery. The Conjure War that we was under, Feathers versus Fezzes, was a amnesia war that was fought by us having to struggle for enough knowledge to overcome the confusion as to who we really were. The agreement, the players, all of the fezzes that was surrendered for the Conjure War are lined up in the George Washington Memorial. You can see them online under images if you pull up George Washington Memorial Fez Museum. And it's going to show you the fezzes. And those are the names of the people on the fezzes that challenged us to a Conjure War. And if you pull up the Pope's most bloody oath, that was their agreement with the Pope to murder the kings, the chiefs, the kings, the princes, and the people of the land, which was us. If you pull up the George Washington challenge, it comes up and it leaves the feathers out of the challenge because it was us that had to discover who we was in order to reclaim our birthright to restore the land, air, and the water. The discovery came in from my part from being a witch doctor and knowing sorcery and being commissioned with compelling all of the sorcerers who had open conjures to close they conjure. which brought me to the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. If you look up Voodoo Cult of Islam, you will see there was newspapers back in the 1900s about the Moorish Science Temple being involved in voodoo. Now, when I started putting the pieces together, it didn't make sense because I'm always been taught that the enemy looked at like paleface. I never knew that the conjure war between us was for one of us to know which side of the water we originate from and where they came from to get here. This is in the George Washington challenge, right? Then they have the secret oath. All of these are documents you can find. The secret oath goes through all of the shit they was going to do to us. The government is ran according to a book called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. This is the principles of oppression that is the doctrine of white supremacy. It's a military strategy to use a cat's paw to conceal who the real power players is by giving you Plato's Republic played out in a stage show. So we had to become educated enough where we surpassed them in knowledge so that we can realize that we was already here. We didn't come on ships. We organic to the land and we wore feathers, and the invaders, conquistadors, blackamoors, the black nobility came after exile, they wore fezzes and turbans. So now we over here in a perpetual, what they call protracted struggle to remember who in the fuck we are. And I'm here to remind us that we wore feathers, they wore fezzes, we won, they lost, they have to leave, and we cool.
That's absolutely, bro. That's fire. But that's some clarification. Like I said, that's some things you drop spiritually that I catch personally, and I know that you can only get them. You have to be in touch with some sort of higher master teaching. It's not coming from a physical man. So when I say that, I'm saying two people can look at a document, right, at the same document, and what one person gets from reading that, they gonna see one thing, but then the spiritual eye is going to see the same thing that the physical eye sees, but then be able to tie that to the presence of a being, a real live sentient being. That's another level of it. So when I heard you speak again on the conjure war, and then just some of the things you were saying, I said, okay, you came on the show. I said, I was going to ask Top, man, can he go a little bit into that so that the family could get an understanding that it is a war of words. And the book, the Bible, is good and it's bad. It's a gift and a curse, but you have to have the eyes to see it because it's coded like that. Everything they do on this continent right here is in there, but you have to go through so many sources and layers to get to it, and you have to be willing to have a spiritual eye. If you ever try to approach it like that physically, you'll miss it, right? I heard you say cat's paw. So what I've understood the cat's paw is the same thing as the lion's grip. That it's the same presentation when a brother in the brotherhood, they meet a brother. So the cat's paw, but then that's even looking at jaguar, the ancient culture of Mesoamerica, the jaguar, and the science behind the jaguar.
The jaguar is in over here is the same as the leopard in Africa and in the Far East India. And the jaguars are the pelts that the priests wear to identify them clearly among the people when they in traditional native garb. Where you have the stealth priests, these are warrior priests. They use conjure wars, they wear the Black Panther pelt because they are a war priest. So the priesthood is broke up into functions and functionality. The jaguar priests are the ones that deals with the most social issues. The stealth priests are the ones who deal with the spiritual warfare aspect. And when the spiritual warfare becomes physical, they are the advisors to the chiefs on how to approach warfare. So Tupac give you the flip Machiavelli. Machiavelli was the advisor to the Medici, and he wrote The Prince. So Tupac becomes the advisor, Panther Priest, to one that he's saying, we need guerrilla tactics. When you call for guerrilla tactics, you call for the next guerrilla clan to come in behind the Panther clan. They show it in Black Panther, the movie. The guerrilla clan don't want to be the clan to rule, but before they let these foreigners rule, they'll take the power. The gorilla grip is the master grip. The lion's paw is the master grip, but when you say cat's paw, you're saying something different. A cat's paw is you use somebody to do your dirt so that you can't be seen for the dirt you do. And that was the great kind game they was using on us. While they was using their understanding of the stars to map when we was coming back so they could murder us, we didn't know this was taking place in the Masonic lodges of the Scottish Rite. We didn't know. Noble Ali went in and discovered what they was doing was using voodoo on us and telling us voodoo was evil. And then the greatest defense for voodoo is fucking voodoo. You can't win a voodoo war if you don't use voodoo. That's spiritual warfare. It's being able to call on the lower spirits of the earth to come and aid you in restoring balance to nature by restoring the affairs of man to their proper order as a matriarchy. You won't notice if you can't read the energy signatures of the earth. They call that
Wow,
tapping the Akashic record.
wow, that's interesting. You said about the you mentioned about the cash bar. What do you think about when we look at the Florida Panther, right? What they would call the Florida Panther, which some biologists they label it as a cross between a African leopard and a indigenous jaguar. But in my research, when I looked at the range of it, right, from where today, where it's from historic today to where it go all the way back to 1800. It's ironic that the same place is that all the tribes were. It's ironic that that's the same place that the range of the panther was, or the jaguar was. But what they have now is what they call a panther, which is just a genus class of it. It's not really the species. So we call them black jaguars, but they're labeling it as a leopard and or a hybrid mix between that African leopard and a
No,
jaguar.
we've been had black jaguars over here ever since jaguars been here. They pop up
Correct.
periodically in the species naturally. The same way that the black leopard is the black panther from Africa, right? It's still got spots, whether it's a jaguar or a leopard, but it's just black because of its function in nature. It serves a purpose, but the priesthood of the jaguar hold that sacred secret about the purpose of the black jaguar, right? I gave you the exoteric version of the stealth priests and advisors to the chiefs. The black leopard is from Africa. The black jaguar is from over here. And both of them are called black panthers. We also get black cougars over here. The ironic thing about a black cougar is it got spots like a jaguar. But the regular cougar don't have spots normally.
Right. That's a good question. One more question now. I want to hog it up, brother. What do you think about and because this is just a topic that I've been working on for like the last month, and to go back to what like you said about places you go, we think we've been there, we haven't been there, we the first ones to be there, and truth and reality is spiritually when you look at it, it's just an ancestor. We're just walking in the footsteps of our ancestors.
We
So
are our ancestors coming back to restore what we fucked up before.
right. So with that being said, I look at the length of time I've been here, and I'm in Central Florida, but I've been in Florida more than half of my life. And my people want me to move, but it's something about this land that I have a connection to. And I'm going to tell you why real quickly. When I got ready to get out the army in 2002, right? My wife called at the time I was married. She's just messing around. She called a tarot card reader. And long story short, what the lady told me, she says that I see you around. You're going to be surrounded by water on three sides. I had never been to Florida. I moved back to Atlanta. I moved to Florida 2 years once I got back to Atlanta, and I've been in Florida ever since. But I stay close to the beach, and I'm a Scorpio. That's my sun and ascendant. So I've been surrounded by water on 3 sides, but it's something about the land. And I've always been in this area of the Timucua people. But just recently, that study resonated with me. And, you know, I sat and meditated on it, even just going through it. I took my time with it. And, you know, I've been there where these people have been. I see that, you know, I could sense that spiritually. So my point is that with those people, do you think that the descendants of those people, some of those people are still here in this region today, and that this theory that they are dead as a tribe is farce? What's your take on the Timucua people and their ancestry?
Well, shit, they've been there longer than the settlers. Listen, those are parts of those tribes that fought in the Seminole War. They just call us Seminoles to indicate that we was mixed up from among the tribes across the land. We got a rich culture down there. The culture is written on everything down there. You can't hide it. We used to walk the trees from Florida to Louisiana without ever touching the ground. Those were the Skywalker clans, right? They burned down the trees and chopped them down because they couldn't get us out of the thicket. We used to run in the water. The alligators wouldn't attack us, but they would attack them. So they started baiting the alligators with our babies. This is what was going on the land. And they needed the alligators to develop a taste for our flesh because they wouldn't attack us, but they would attack the invaders. We used to ride alligators down the river. They swim us all the way down the river. Tap him with the stick, and he'll roll to the bank and drop your ass off and go on about his business. Once the invaders came, we can't ride alligators like that no more. The Sobek priestess has been spoiled by the invaders because that's the priesthood that used to ride the fucking alligators. And they had a Sobek priesthood in Africa, where the crocodiles are. The crocodile was sacred over there. The alligator was sacred over here. So all of our culture is written all over the land, but they've given us misdirection as to what we see. You see that, but that's not what it means. That's the bullshit they run on us.
Damn,
But
that's heavy.
those people been there, man. Been there. They lived in trees and shit. Literally like build your house in a tree. And they built roadways that you could walk on with rest stations for you to have guest quarters, and all of the big mamas would be lined up at intervals because they know how long you're going to walk before you get tired and need to rest and eat. They chopped all that. That's what all of the lumberjack legends is about. Them chopping the trees down on our land in order to overthrow the people, because we intimately connected to all of the nature of the land we from.
Yeah, that's on point though, because that with the Timucua people, man. And even when I did in my study, what I saw was they demonized the the Timucua people and said that they ate alligators like that often. But being down here, if you ever lived in Florida, people just used to it. It doesn't freak people out. They're just part of the community. Regular people down here, we don't get freaked out by seeing alligators. That's just what looked like a nice little lake. We just know, okay, it looked to the outside, it looked like you can go swimming in there. But your ass get off in there, and then you're gonna be a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But it's strange that when you mentioned the part about there was the jaguar there, and then the crocodile here. I found a picture of a jaguar, feasting on a crocodile down in South America. They hunt them, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy that you said that, and I made a meme with that, with the jaguar snatching the fucking crocodile up out the water, biting him on the back of the neck. So yeah, that's on point though, fam. That's on point spiritually. I can agree with you, man. I ain't no young buck in this, and I use wisdom and discernment. I have my own study tools, my own methods, but it's thorough. So when you come with something spiritual, I can pretty much rest assured that your other information is tied to it and linked to it. It ain't got to be 100% correct, but it's that you understand it and you walking in your truth, and your light is shining, and it's a beacon. And you know, people listening, and we appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Salute
All
to
right.
you.
I appreciate you too, brother.
In a real way, you know, that was deep too. Right there, you said, OG, when you was talking that connection with the trees, you know, the tribe, the southeastern tribes, they used to bury they ancestors in trees. You feel me? So yeah, that was deep right there. But man, I want to appreciate you giving us the time tonight to come through and build with us, man. Shout out to the homie Chief of Chief for making that happen, putting that together. I'm definitely gonna tap back in with you, man. And if you give us another time to shine, this our backup channel over here. They shot me down over there on that Kanye. I played the Kanye video. They shot me down for it on my other channel, but I definitely want to make that connection though. Bring you back on, man. Come rock out with us, man. We're a community, man. American Indians from all over, and we trying to put it back and preserve our ancestors, man. Our truths here, our family connection. We real big on genealogy, telling our story, knowing what happened to us. You know, going back in our genealogy, finding our our family migrations, anybody fought in wars, armies, and putting our story back together. You know. And it's real good to have an OG like you to come through, and especially to be standing on indigenous paradigm, but definitely having that connection, you know, to come have these messages that you do have. You feel me? So definitely want to appreciate you coming through, rocking with us, man. I hope this ain't the only time. You got some last words or some last words to the people? Hold on, I do have a question for you. If you wanted anybody to know anything about Rod Hayes when this is over with, what would that be? When you're done with your journey, when you did your work, how would you want to be remembered?
I would like for them to be like, when nobody else couldn't see it, he seen it and told us and walked us to the promised land. That right there, that's enough. Once we wake up, if I'm responsible in any kind of way,